is like the beginning of all the kind of like agility stuff that you want to do with him. So it's really good. Touch. Yes!
I didn't think that I wanted to do anything with agility, but now I'm like seeing the videos, I'm like, whoa, that's really cool.
It's just so cool, and it gives him like brain work. Okay, so now for stay, how you'll teach it is, and this is really good to practice out here, like even coming outside is going to be a next step up. So even telling him sit, lay down, anything he knows out here is like the next challenge, because it's a distracting environment. So it's focusing and then having to do the commands as well. So I would come and work, or like after your walk, take like a few minutes to like go over all of his commands and tricks that he knows.
Okay.
Just to test him out here, because the biggest thing is going to be being able to focus and basically work in any single environment, you know? Do most people, when they teach stay, it's like a stay, and then they keep going with it. Okay. And that doesn't teach the dog that stay means you stay put no matter what. Now what we're going to do is, he only gets this, I mean if he doesn't go for it. If he doesn't go for the leaf at all, then he gets the treat. Okay. If he goes for it and then comes back, it's just a yes once he comes back. Okay. Leave it. Yes! Good! Leave it. Yes! And I'm having him sit first just to make it a little easier so he's more controlled. Right. And focus on me to begin with. Yes. Leave it. Yes. So if he is like intent on something like that in like real world, you can give him a treat for coming back to you. Okay. But when you're practicing like this, practice only the treat, the ultimate reward, when he totally leaves it. Another way to ensure that he really understands leave it, because you want him to think leave it means basically to look to you. I don't want that thing. If you say leave it, he should like think, I don't even want to look at that thing. A lot of times you'll see if I say leave it and that thing is still there, he's like we'll keep focusing back on it. And keep trying to shift his focus up here. He's actually doing really, really well. He's just looking between my hands, not back at that thing. Yes, but keep him from focusing on that, like going back to focusing on that. Naturally, he's doing really, really well with the focus on me, but naturally, dogs are like just eyeing it. Like they can't stop eyeing it. And when that happens, if I were to take a step away, he would go right to it, you know? So you just want that focus on you after you say a command once, no matter how long that thing is sitting there next to him. So with down, we want him to start doing it without you having to lure it, because he knows the command by now. Okay. Another thing I know that we talked about that he does, yes, is get up from the down right away, right?
Yeah, he does the puppy push-ups like really well. But I think it's just
so
like keeping
that's
him.
What's coming next.
I think that's what he thinks.
River, leave it. Start first, just doing the command. If he's not getting that, then just tapping the ground. Okay. If that's still not enough, then lure him. You put your butt down and then make eye contact with me. Okay. Because right now, with everything we've done, he's been following the treats, which is obviously fine because that's the first step in everything. But we have to start shifting to making him work for you instead of just the treats. Okay. And to do that is the focus. With every single command, it has a different like course of weaning off of the treats. So it's not like as a whole in the training process, we're weaning off of the treats. It's just because he knows sit so well. Now we're on to the next stage of sit means this and then focus. Down is gonna mean the same thing. Ultimately, you know, once they get more and more new things that we teach him though, is the same thing as always, like treat every single time he does it. And that's how we want him to like tell you that he wants a treat as well. Like look to you instead of like jumping for it like that, mouthing. We want him to know that he needs to be behaving even if there's no command. You know, even if there's not a leave it, it's still not appropriate to tell me you want the treat by putting your mouth over it, you know? Basically what we want him to do when he's like super intent and mouthing is to tell me that you want this. It's not that, it's back off and then make eye contact with me instead. So come and recall is something that majority of owners cannot get their dog to do. Okay. Come when called, like off leash and everything. Yeah. And the reason is, one, I think we talked about from the start, like starting with just his name being positive. If he hears his name and he knows his name is always a good thing, like he has really good response to his name. Usually when a dog is off leash, it's total freedom. So what's more motivating than that? You know, you have to just make sure that you are being extremely motivating. Start incorporating off leash when they're this young.
Okay. Because
people who wait until the dog's like 8 months old, it's all of a sudden like a free-for-all when they're off the leash.
Yeah.
Like
I let him go off leash like inside there around like the green grass.
Perfect.
And like,
yeah, that's perfect because it's controlled.
Walking between like my place, the other apartment, and then the area where he goes to the bathroom.
Okay, good.
Usually I just like let the leash go.
Okay.
And like he'll roam around, do what he needs to do, go to the bathroom by himself, and then like I'll pick up the leash and then we'll go.
Okay. And sometimes if you can, like if nobody's out there, I would try unhooking the leash too.
Okay.
Because that becomes a big thing for dogs too. They're like, oh my gosh, off the leash, it's off with me for good. And can just do whatever they want. So you just want to introduce it like, oh, it's no big deal when you're off the leash, you still stay around me. And then I think that you're not going to have as big a deal, as big of an issue like getting him to come back to you and call. Make sure whenever you're telling him come, you say like a firm, River, come. Okay, now you call him.
River, come.
Yes.
Yes, good boy.
Even though he was a little distracted, he came back to you pretty quick, which is good. You gotta be really excited. Christopher said, River!
River, come! River!
Oh, yes!
Yes!
This is one that you always, always, always want to praise him for when he comes.
Right.
It's a myth. A lot of people tell me, aren't you not supposed to praise the dog if it takes more than like a certain amount of time, like 30 seconds? Absolutely not, because it's just gonna keep getting more, they're gonna keep pushing it out if they don't get rewarded. Sit. Yes. Wait a few seconds. Hi, River.
River, come.
Yes.
Yes, good boy. Yes.
River, come. Yes! Literally like use that. Isn't responding, you don't want to say like River come again when you're showing him this, but you can say his name. Same as always, don't repeat that command.
Okay.
Say the name and show him something more motivating. Now with sit, it should never be yes and treat at the same time anymore. We want to space that out because he knows it so well, and teach him, because that's the issue that people have. It's like he gets a treat and then goes right on his way. So we want to prolong that self-control and focus on you.
River, come. Yes, good boy. Yes, River. River. Oh yes. Yes, there we go. Good. Good boy.
That one's really hard for him.
Good boy.
Stay. River, stay. Up. That was too hard. Now we restart. Stay. Try again. River, stay. Up. River. Sit. Yes. Stay. Yes. Good. He got it. Now I'm going to increase the difficulty. River. Stay. Yes! Good boy. Stay. Yes! Good. Yes, amazing. That makes sense.
God,
so
wow.
good.
So good.
So that's why it's just so
River.
important to take that time in the beginning where it looked like he just wasn't getting it, to build that base of knowing what stay actually is. It's not jumping up, it's let's start over, try that again. A lot of times the dog will get to like 10 steps and then the next time he doesn't even stay for 1 step. And owners get really frustrated, like, he just got 10 steps, why can't he stay for 1 step?
Yeah.
Well, it's something that's new. His brain is processing it. So don't get frustrated if he does that. But let's say I get to 10 steps and he gets up. The most important thing there is to not continue with the 10 steps then. You want to decrease and go back to 9.
Okay.
Go back to what he knows and what he had just mastered, basically.
Okay.
Instead of trying to keep going with the 10, that's going to help you build that successful base of him really understanding and knowing. You just want to be firm with what you're telling him. And he's learning things too, so if you say down and he gives you a shake and you give him a treat for that, you're confusing him too. Yes.
Hi.
You did so good today.
Yes, you did so good.
Let me take your picture.